Everyone, it's Chris, PDX Picker, back with another Vlogmas episode. We're going to talk about some big exciting Poshmark news that has happened to me, and also go over a couple of orders, also talk about some surprise things that I picked up today, give you a little update on how listing is going. So lots of good, fun reseller day in the life of information for me, so let's get into it. I really didn't want to film this video, but I said I was going to yesterday, and of course I said I was going to film a video every day until Christmas. But I didn't really feel like it, but we're doing it anyway. Let's start off with the big exciting Poshmark news. At least I think it will be. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting experiment. So here is the information. I signed up for a beta program that they're trying out, which is becoming a consigner. They review your account. They review a lot of things to determine whether or not you will qualify for it. They said I qualified for it, and then I think about a month has passed and I hadn't heard anything, and then all of a sudden, yesterday, I got an email that said that they matched me with a consignor or a consignee, whichever one it is, I don't know. And I'm going to get a bag of clothes by December 23rd that I can list and basically, I think, split any of the profits with the person that actually submitted the clothes. So, I don't know exactly how I feel about it, especially if it's a bunch of women's clothing. I've been really down on women's clothes lately because of all the returns, but it is Poshmark where there are no returns, or essentially no returns. So that's good news. I'm cautiously optimistic. I honestly have no idea how it's going to go, so we'll see. We're going to give it a shot. I think I can try it out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I think I can opt out and not do any more moving forward. But it's interesting and it's exciting, so stick around on probably the 23rd, and I'll have my first bag to show you what it is that I get to list and be a consigner for. Sales have been pretty decent lately. I've had 10 sales since yesterday, so the number is high. Some of the dollar values are also a little bit better, which is good. We will pull those here in a little bit. I have listed a little bit more. I listed, I think, let's see, 5 total pre-owned Transformers. I listed all 7 of the new Transformers, which I already told you about. I listed several Disney cars today, and I'll show you here in a little bit. I actually sold one of that lot already. Made all my money back and a decent amount of profit moving forward from that. So, let's see. Yeah, I've only listed 6 things so far. I came back out here after dinner. I'm going to list a few more after I quickly edit this video and get it uploaded. Mondays are often days where I go thrifting after I go to the gym and work out in the morning, and I did do that. But on top of that, I stumbled upon an estate sale that went through into Monday. Today was the fill a bag for $5 day, and I got some decent things. So that was relatively surprising. Let's go ahead. There it is. So I'll start with a fill a bag for $5. I got a pair of, or not, I guess it's a pair. Some Key overalls. I think they're huge. So the size is maybe a little bit of a concern, but Key overalls, usually, especially in good condition, usually good for $25, easy on that. So that will more than pay for everything in this lot. I got a pair of Chaco sandals, just need a little bit of cleanup, definitely some wear on them, so probably $15 to $20 on those. None of these are huge winners, but it was, I think, probably day 3, maybe even day 4 of the sale. So this is a pair of Orvis Tech pants. They're like fleece lined in the top, so I've sold the Tech pants in the past, but they haven't been fleece lined. Those are usually good for $20 to $25. And just some bread and butter stuff. Here's a Dockers leather belt. Maybe get $8 for that. Grabbed a couple of pairs of glasses. They're what is this? 5 cents, 10 cents. So I don't know if this is worth anything, but it had a name on it. I think they're reading glasses. These ones as well. These are just, they felt higher quality than the other stuff there. So I don't know. Unfortunately, I think the brand is worn off on the inside of this. So maybe Google Lens to the rescue. Maybe it's just going to end up in the donate pile. Either way, no big deal. Also got a whole bunch of patches for like military type things. So 2 of these. I think these might be Coast Guard related. I'm not positive. I didn't do any research on them. I just grabbed them all. Whole bunch of these. I think 6 of them. I got some silver cleaner because there's all sorts of times where I need to clean silver, or at least I'd like to potentially clean silver. These are, I believe, a couple of military buckles, 3 of them. Probably not worth anything, but at this point, since everything was essentially, we'll just say 10 to 50 cents, there's 5 or 6 of those in there. And then this is a little caterpillar, like fob. Sometimes those caterpillar things can be worth it. And then I don't even know what this is. I think it's some sort of polisher. It's like a German auto sole chrome polisher, I think. For leather, vinyl, rubber, plastic, and black chrome. But I looked this up online, and I swear it was going for a lot of money because this is like old and vintage. It's like $10 a tube. And I say a lot of money. It's not really a lot of money, but surprising just because it was worth anything. At the thrift store, I got this new old stock like defroster defogger kit for your rear window on your car. That was $1.95. I think that can be worth like as much as 40 or 50 bucks. And then today is 50% off, or on Mondays it's always 50% off clothes. And found a couple of nice pairs of Brooks shoes. This pair was $6. It's a Ghost. I don't know what number of Ghost it is, but they're in really good condition and not that old. Color on that is kind of crazy. And then another pair of Brooks. These are the Ariel GTS. Please don't fall. Thank you. These ones were $10. Ariel GTS 23. I just recently sold a pair of Ariels. Ariels it's a good model. And then last, an LG water filter replacement. This one was $2 and probably it's worth like 15, but that's essentially free money because those sell really fast. I'm wearing a jacket again in here because it's just cold. I've been cold lately. It's just cold. I could turn the heat up in here, but I'm too cheap to waste the energy. I'd rather just wear a coat. First thing that's sold is, this came out of the storage unit auction. Kind of didn't know they had these, but they're Xbox controllers where you can add this keyboard down at the bottom, assuming for communication with your online partners. Before there was a lot of speaking available. I don't know, maybe it's just for entering passwords and stuff. So that was good. And then I sold, also from the storage unit auction, so kind of ironically, 2 things back to back from the storage unit auction. This is an Eero Wi-Fi extender, like a mesh thing. Yeah, it's like a mesh Wi-Fi extender. $42.99 plus shipping on that. So Eero Pro 6. Pretty good model on that with the power cord. $42.99. So storage unit stuff's all profits of both of those things. 100% profit. Because I've made everything back on that. I just talked about this in yesterday's video, and it sold $19.95, I believe. Yeah, $19.95 plus shipping. So Christmas sleigh bells. I mean, this is, if you can find like real, actual sleigh bells that were put on a horse, you know, like big, huge sleigh bells, those are worth major money. But even stuff like that, I mean, like I said, I picked it up for $4 at an estate sale, and it sold immediately for $20. My Sputnik guy sold again, $50 plus shipping. I don't know why it sold immediately again, because I had it listed for quite some time prior to it selling back to back. I did get a comment on my video yesterday. I asked what do people do when items are returned to sender. They don't normally reach out. At least the person that commented. Thank you for the comment, by the way. He said he doesn't normally reach out. He just refunds the buyer minus the original shipping, of course, and then relists it. So, which is what my plan was, or what I did do all along. But like I said, I just wanted to check with other folks on here. This is a vintage lifted research group what's that called? Crew neck. Golly. Paid like $4.50 for this, I think. And I guess this was big, like, this is kind of like a Y2K brand. So, big in the early 2000s, and it ended up, I think, in my 30% off sale. I sent out an offer, but still a good sale, $23.74 plus shipping. I think it was an offer that I had sent out, because it's not on sale. I'm so happy this sold, because this is the type of thing that can just easily get lost in the big wide world of eBay. It would probably be a great antique booth type of a sale, but this is a vintage National Park photo album. Zion, Bryce Canyon, Grand Canyon, and Cedar Breaks. It's got like this fake leather cover on it. Just super cool. Picked this up for $3 at a yard sale. And it took a little bit of time, but that sold for $14.99 plus shipping. This next sale was, I mean, the money was good, but I paid way too much for these. Well, the money wasn't that great, but $25 plus shipping for this pair of Merrell kind of like winter snow boots. I thought these were women's, but they're men's. I mean, they could be women's as well, but they're like a super small size of men's shoe. I mean, it even says men's in there. It just didn't do a great job on that. But I paid $15 for these, and they sold for $25 plus shipping. So that's why it was not a great buy, but it is what it is. This is a really cool comic sale. Very heavy and hard to show off, so I don't want to get them wrinkly or too damaged, but I'll just show you here. This is a lot of 55 different Stranger Things comics. You can see they're not like bagged and boarded. I listed these as reader copies because, you know, I'm not gonna like do the super nice, fantastic job of packing them up. I mean, I'll pack them up, but my point is, if you bought that, don't expect to send them off and get a high grade. But this was all profit from my comic buy, and I put that on auction, 7-day auction, and that sold for $41 plus shipping. So that was nice. A lot of those are like short run, like 1, 2, 3, 4, where there's like a series of 4 different issues focusing on one story, but hardly any of them were complete. That's why I sold it all as a lot. So I had a lot of like 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4, or 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4. But no, I didn't have like all 4 of them on a lot of them. So anyway, to get $41, I was very, very happy with that. I actually had another Subaru keychain that sold. So each of these cost me 16 cents. On average, it's about $4.75 to ship. So you're looking at basically $5. There's about $1 of fees when it comes to eBay, or no, maybe like $1.25 of fees. So, like I said, I make about $2 per per sale on those, which is, I mean, they're so easy to ship. It's not that bad at all. Sold my first Transformer. This is a pre-owned Optimus Prime. Obviously, it's pre-owned. This is, I just lost my phone. There it is. The Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. Get you a nice close-up. Oh, doesn't help that I'm covering the whole thing. There's a nice close-up look of him. He sold for $35 plus shipping. And then the Disney cars that I talked about selling. There's a lot of 20 minis in here. And no duplicates. So I did have a few duplicates and I took those out to be sold separately, but not too many. And this sold for $36 plus shipping. I just listed that today. And I think that is it for the sales. Let's just double check. Yep, that is it for the sales. So pretty good. Let's look at what the total was for essentially the last 24 hours. Total $426 and 94 cents. That includes shipping, so take out $100 or so for that. So most of the items were pretty small and pretty inexpensive shipping-wise. Also, as a reminder for those of you that have store subscriptions, don't forget to use your $25 off coupon off of eBay shipping supplies. That expires December 31st. I almost forgot to use mine, but I just remembered because I wanted to order some boxes, and I found those along the way. I did get another... I finally got a message back from the guy who gave me the negative feedback. I had mentioned in my video that I had mentioned to him and said there was no obvious damage at all. I didn't see any damage. What damage are you talking about? And he finally emailed or messaged me back 3 or whatever days later and just showed the 3 photos that he attached to the negative review, which those are the ones that were in my videos. Again, not obvious damage at all, but whatever. I just blocked the guy after that. Didn't respond because it isn't worth my time. But the month of December is going... it's starting off kind of going a little-ish slow in terms of dollar sales. I think I have $1,700 in sales for the month so far, which of course is going to really, well, if I remember correctly, in years past, I feel like a lot of times what happens is about the 6 or 7 days, about a week before Christmas, those days, everything kind of dies down. And then after Christmas, the sales really ramp up a lot again. So I'm expecting something similar to that will happen. But anyway, hope your sales are still going gangbusters out there for you. That's going to do it for today's video. So thanks so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you to the PAX Posse member, Harley Gal. Good luck with everything out there that you are involved in. Good luck. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.